I mean, YouTube, I meant.
All right, call the meeting to order at 6:05. We'll do roll call. We know we got two people still trying to get in, Roger and Marlene. I think everybody else is here. Carl, still, Tina, trying to get in, Roger and Mark.
Yeah, I'm here now.
Everybody else is here.
What
Carl,
happened?
Bill, Tina, and to get in, Roger and am I the only one hearing that? It's just
Yeah, I'm
constantly
here.
replaying my voice.
Now.
Everybody else is here. Carl, Bill, Tina, and to get in, Roger. Am I the only one hearing that? It's just constantly replaying my voice. Everybody else is here. Carl, Bill, Jenny, are you hearing that? All I'm hearing is my line being repeated over and over. All right, let's try this again. We'll call the meeting to order at 6:07. Sounds like Roger's still trying to get in, but I got Carl, Tina's here, Susan's here, Connor is here, Colton is here, Marlene is here, and Brian is here. And we got a puppy here. I'm gonna hold off on Roger because we know he's trying to get in, so I'm gonna hold off on that. Doesn't appear we have any guests for any guest business. With that, the one thing, Jill or Jenny, I noticed this agenda didn't have the approval of our last meeting minutes, nor did we get them. And I apologize because I just noticed it before we went online.
I'm sorry I didn't include that in the Friday's email. Minutes will follow.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of technical difficulties last week.
I just noticed it just before I got on, so I apologize. I didn't catch it sooner.
I'm letting Roger in right now, too.
Okay. And then let's move to, we don't have any action items. Rod, you there? So we got discussion items, North Cove, seawall artwork. Jill.
So today, Tina from the Arts and Parks Foundation will be presenting the North Cove seawall, the artwork that they have selected for that. And are you a co-host on there? Are you able to share your screen, Tina?
I don't see that I'm a co-host yet. Let me see.
Here it comes.
Share screen. Okay. Allow. Entire screen. Window.
Sorry, I couldn't get in.
Glad you're here now.
It won't let me share.
I've made
So
you the host.
you did, okay. Window. Yeah, it won't.
Tina, I can share it if you want to just direct me along. I have it up now.
Oh, you do have it up. You got it up. Okay. Yeah.
I'm hoping
Were you able to zoom it out?
I am.
Okay.
Can everyone see that?
You have to zoom that. You have to go to view.
I can zoom in. Can you see the whole thing right now?
Yeah,
Okay. I'll zoom in and then do you want me to work from one side to the other?
Well, I think, yeah, and I think it's self-explanatory. So I don't think I need to really say anything, except for that we tried to put a lot of elements of things that you would find around our area, like wildlife. And there's different kinds of fish, and I don't know my different fish. See, there's some ducks.
And remind me again, Tina, I believe the wall is 50 feet long. So that's why it's obviously, so small. But as you travel along the wall, it goes from different environments that are found in Lake Stevens.
Exactly. It's like a wetland, actually. It goes from starting at the mountain and it just keeps going into the different, what do you call it? I can't think of the word I want.
Looks like it follows kind of the path of the water.
Watershed.
And here it looks like we're coming into some of the streams.
Mm-hmm. Some salmon eggs. Now we're getting closer to the water, to the lake, I mean. Now we're at the lake. And that's the end.
So these will be printed on tiles and then affixed to the seat wall facing the water feature down in North Cove.
Correct. And I can also share, no, I can't share. Well, I just said I'm host, so I don't know why it's not letting me share.
Can stop and see if you can.
Yeah, let me see if I can.
It should be the green button at the bottom.
Yeah, what's it saying is that it's not giving me the share button. It's got the cancel button highlighted, but not the share button.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why it's weird.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why. So I wanted to show the fish that are going to be the on the other side that will have their plaques essentially. And Carl, what kind of fish are they? Okay, I don't know what kind of fish they are. And
I'm gonna guess kokanee.
it's not in my brain. And so, but they have a curve to it, and it's pretty detailed. And then there's a space to put somebody's name, and if they want to have a dedication or something like that, and that will be on the opposite side of the wall, and we'll sell those for donations.
And Tina, are those the metal fish that will be
Yeah.
facing the mill?
Yeah, the metal fish.
do you have any
Mhm.
pictures of those? I didn't
I
see
do. I
any.
can't share though. I'm
Oh, okay,
not
Jill doesn't
figuring
have
out
it.
a way to.
Tina, do
figure out.
you want to email them to me and then I can see if I
Oh,
can open them?
good thinking. Let me see if I can do that. I should be able to forward this.
And do you know what type of metal they were going to be made out of?
I think a brass.
The stainless steel,
Was it stainless steel?
I think so they wouldn't get corroded and stuff.
Oh,
Just-
that's right.
Just
Mhm.
real quick, whoever's hosting, can you let
Yeah.
Connor back in? Connor got kicked out.
I keep letting him in.
Oh, it looks
But
like he's in
Jenny-
now.
There he goes.
Jenny can take off the host
Uh,
now.
Jill's host right now, unless it's.
Oh, Jill's host. Okay. Okay. Let me do this.
Connor, were you able
Okay.
to see the artwork?
Did Connor get in? I see his.
Yes, he's in.
There he
There
is.
it is. Oh, there we go.
There you go. Now it's not this one, because this is the tail we decided was too curved to work. There should be another one.
So is it just one fish design or is there a multiple or?
It's multiple and different sizes. So depending on, like, I can tell you what it's going to cost us. Yeah, it's the second one, Jill.
I'm not able, there's just the one attachment to the
Oh,
email.
interesting. So in the body of the text from Leah is where it's at. Did you get that?
It's not showing.
Okay, maybe try again, and maybe I need to, let's see. Forward. Okay, so yeah, it's in there. I just scrolled down to make sure that it has it.
Sometimes our software won't allow
Mm, yeah.
some of them to be displayed. It could be that, but I'm not seeing them.
Okay. Well, I just sent it again.
Okay.
And the price points for our cost is a 14 inch is $40, a 12 inch is $35, a 10 inch is $30. So I don't know, Carl and Marlene, I had to miss the last meeting. Did we come up with our price point of what we're going to be asking for a donation?
No,
No, we didn't do that yet. Okay.
but we wanted to offer smaller and bigger so people could afford to donate.
Mm-hmm.
How many can you get on the wall? I mean, it's like.
A lot.
like
Yeah, they
hundreds.
did the math and I don't remember, but it was a significant amount. Remember that.
Probably
Let's see if
well
I
over
can find
100,
that.
I would say, in 50 feet.
Well, maybe we can show those ones at the next meeting. I'm not able to get them from that
Okay,
email,
all right.
but does anyone
So
have?
on the fish, on the fish that people are donating, how does that, do they get a plaque or is their name engraved on the fish?
They
or how
get
does
the
that work?
fish engraved,
Okay,
and then the fish will go onto the other side of the splash pad, the wall.
So are they gonna be like destined where the fish are going, or are they just gonna go up randomly, or do you have like a, like a map figured out where each one's gonna go, the fish? To
Not yet.
maximize? Okay, but is that what the
Not yet.
plan, or is it just like,
Yeah,
you should
that's
just
the
buy a
plan.
fish and I wanna put it here,
No.
or, okay,
Mm-mm. It's going to be mapped out. So most likely we'll have like so many large fish, so many medium fish, so many small fish. And then it will be all laid out as to where it will all go. But we'll put them up. I can't remember what we decided now, if we're gonna put them up one at a time or save them and put them all up. I can't, Carl and Marlene, do you remember? We talked about that briefly.
We never made a decision on,
Yeah, we didn't make a decision. We just talked.
because we just found the fish and the price point. So now
Yeah,
to decide how much to ask for a donation for each size.
yeah.
50 feet long. For every foot, you could probably put 2 or 3 fish on various levels. And I think, didn't we want to make it kind of go flowing along?
We did.
Yeah.
Right?
So there's 3 different fish styles, like a salmon and a bass and a
No.
trout, or are they all the same
No.
or
They're all the same type of fish.
just smaller?
They're just different sizes.
Okay, all right.
But they're also a little bit different shapes. There's several different shapes,
Okay.
different configuration of the tail and fins and whatever. So there's a couple of, it won't all be exactly alike in just different sizes. They'll be slightly different.
So basically, you're picturing salmon then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that is salmon?
Yeah, kokanee, salmon.
Salmon.
So for the seat wall, is there any questions or anything you'd like to add, Tina?
No, unless anybody else has more questions that maybe we can answer.
Is that the official design then? Is that any changes or is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
Just want to know, how permanent is it going to be? As I know, some murals have a shelf life of 10 years or so. Has the artist given you any indication of how long they anticipate it lasting before needing a touch up or to be redone?
Well, they're printed on,
Oh, okay.
and so, and then they've got anti-graffiti coating on them. So,
They're tiles, is that right, Tina?
Yeah.
and they're tiles, but we print them on the tile. It's the latest technology.
So I can give you an idea. In 3rd grade, we did a project in Arlington at Centennial Park where the kids drew a picture and they printed it on the tile, and it's still there 40 years later almost. So it's pretty permanent.
Yeah. And plus these tiles will be replaceable if one should somehow become very damaged. They can take that off and put on a new one.
Awesome. Thank you.
And I don't know if you said, but who is the artist on that?
Leah
Leah,
Everett.
what is Leah's last name?
Everett.
Yes.
Thank you.
She did the artwork in the mill. She did if you're on the ground floor and there's photos of different things of historical things, she came up with the layout and all of that. And she's done other things, if I understand right. Is that correct, Jill?
Yeah, she also did the big the gas fire thing out there, the ball from the aerator, right?
Yes.
She designed that.
Mm-hmm. She did the artwork and then it was cut out.
Yeah, she's really knowledgeable about all sorts of mediums and how to go about this.
I think she did a great job capturing, kind of just the whole continuum, really.
Mm-hmm.
Ecosystem,
Yeah,
I think that's the word that we were looking for. It's the ecosystem.
Yes, ecosystem. Yes.
Great.
So looks good. Do we got anything else on the wall artwork? Okay, let's move on to the March Parks update. Jill.
It's a pretty robust update. We have a lot of things moving and shaking. So I will start with Davies Beach. The Lake Stevens Police Department and the Snohomish Regional Fire need to relocate their marine unit vessels. Those are the ones that are housed at North Cove right now. We need to get them out of North Cove. There's quite a conflict of use with them operating them in and out of their slips there. So the police department conducted an analysis of other sites that we have on the lake and have decided on Davies Beach. I think this will be a really good location, and it'll also improve their response times for calls out on the lake. Right now, with them being so far up into the cove, it's quite a long, at times slow trek into the mouth of the lake. So that project will include moving the boat lift that exists at North Cove over to Davies Beach, as well as fencing off the slips that are at Davies Beach. So for security reasons for their boat, and then Snohomish Regional Fire will also move their boat over there at that time. We're looking to combine this project with replacing the decking. The decking on the fixed pier at Davies Beach is it's pretty well degraded. So we know that we'll need to be doing that. That'll improve the environmental impact as well, because it'll be a recycled product out there. All of the details of the specific decking has not been chosen yet. So we're just beginning the scope in the charter of that project. So then at North Cove, we were notified by Recreation Conservation Office that we have been successful in our grant application. We were down the list, and we didn't think that we had received funding, but they notified us that we did. And that will put 9 guest moorage spaces at North Cove. And that's the day use slips out there on the existing pier at North Cove by the new water access, not at the boat launch, but just up north in the actual North Cove Park. So, and then at Sunset Park, we know we have some maintenance to do out there. There's some erosion down by the shoreline, as well as possibly some repairs that need to be made to the dock out there. And we know that we'll have to redevelop that site. So we're working with a consultant right now on scope and budget for the design and the structural analysis out at Sunset. Of course, we'll be bringing those preliminary plan options to the park board, and we'll be running some public outreach at your regular meetings for that. The Cedarwood Community Center staff met with a structural engineer out there, took a tour of the facility and did some measurements. They're going to put together their scope of work to assess the building on what is needed out there, what we have so far, and possible options for it moving forward. We did hear back that our legislative ask for some funds to help in the redevelopment of that site did not make it into the final budget. So we'll be we're moving forward with the planning effort until that budget is available. So the next one is the Trails Master Plan. The first phase of that, that's the trail from 20th Street Southeast up to 8th Street, as well as the dog park. We're working through the acquisition of those easements. Some of you may have heard that the City Council adopted a condemnation ordinance for the easements required to construct that trail out there. So we'll be moving forward with finishing up the easements, and then we'll move into permitting for that.
Jill, I have a question.
Sure.
So what does that mean, that that they adopted a condemnation ordinance? What's that mean?
So the city needs to have easements to put the trail in under on the existing utility access road. And there's 2 neighborhoods there with shared interest parcels that trail will be located on. One at the southern neighborhood is Quail Court, and there's an area that the trail will be on what's an existing recreational easement that was recorded many, many years ago. But there's a portion of it that will dip back onto their shared use parcel. And the reason that we would like it to stay on that particular area is because there's a wetland in that area, and we don't want to impact the wetland any more than we have to. And because that existing utility access road is there. So each one of those owners have a shared interest in that parcel. And some of the owners have already signed off on the easement, but we have to get all of the owners' agreements sewn up. So we haven't had all of them contact us back. We haven't had all of the 33 lot owners sign. So this is a mechanism where the city can condemn it's 3,755 square feet, and then pay those owners the appraised value.
Oh, okay. It's the process they have to use to make that happen.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Russ,
Thank
did you
you.
have anything? Yeah, absolutely. Did you have anything to add for that?
No, I think you covered it. Just to sort of reiterate the high points, it is a legal mechanism that cities can use to acquire properties for public benefit. In this case, there are so many ownership interests that it's really hard to get each of those ownerships, some of them being out of city, out of state, to sign off on the agreement that was offered. So it's the next step we have to take to acquire those properties for the trail development.
And there is a neighborhood to the north as well. And that is, it's the same situation. It's a shared interest parcel. So let's see, what is next? There's a lot going on. Centennial Woods. This is where the pump track is slated for. The feasibility, this is on your work program for the third quarter. So we'll be looking at that site as well as possibly a neighboring site and getting some critical areas work done in that area to see what is usable. So events, recreation, and culture, the proposals that we got back from the community on the RFP, the request for proposal that we sent out, we had some applicants, and they are our existing paddleboard rentals at Lundin. They have put in a bid to continue the paddleboard and kayak rentals out there. A film festival at the mill, that's slated for October. There's a health and wellness fair, and that's scheduled to be in June. The Lake Stevens High School Band and Choir Showcase, that's in kind of a response because those students haven't been able to perform for their concerts. And so there's a member of the public that's put in a bid for that with the Arts and Parks Foundation as well. There's Zumba dance fitness classes. Those are going to be free to the public. Those are going to be at Lundin, also at North Cove. And they will be at several times throughout the week. And then our Skyhawks youth athletic summer camps and spring break camp are going to return. We're working on the contracts for those and get those out. The water tower art project is in production, and it will be installed adjacent to the bridge deck in North Cove. That's where Main Street and North Lakeshore Drive meet, and it's going to be north of the entrance into City Hall. And it looks pretty neat. It's stainless steel, and the artist has acquired the inserts for the water tower, and it looks like it's coming together really well. But it will be coming in pretty soon. Recap of the Lake Stevens Police Department. They had their first annual polar plunge. This was a benefit for Special Olympics, and council members Jorstad and Dickinson joined in. Our police chief, as well as I believe the police chief in Marysville, some of the Marysville Police Department came out to support us, and they all plunged in the lake in a very chilly February morning. But they did end up raising they went above their expectation for their fundraisers, so we're happy for them. Our evidence technician, Deb Smith, organized that event, and she's been she works with Marysville, and she's always been supportive of it, but this is the first time Lake Stevens has been able to host it, so she did a great job. On March 6th, the Evergreen Dive Service went underwater and cleaned up Davies Beach. They got several 100 pounds of garbage out from under the water. So we are really thankful for them. And that wraps up our parks update, unless you had anything to add, Russ, or if anyone has any questions.
Anybody got any questions?
I got a couple of questions, Jill.
Sure.
When you said those 9 boat slips that got approved for North Cove, is that in addition to the existing boat slips, or would they be in place of that?
So these would be for the boat slips on the fixed pier outside that kind of encompasses the swimming area at North Cove. So that's adjacent to the actual park, not at North Cove boat launch. So this, you would come up to the pier and right there at North Cove in the park in front of the stage, and you would moor your boat there for just day use. And then you would have direct access right off of the fixed pier into North Cove.
Great. So that's actually, there'll be about 14 slips roughly then. including the
Counting
ones
the
at the
boat
launch.
launch. Mhm.
And then on the Centennial Woods property, has the city made any progress with the utility company on that other parcel, or is that what you were referring to as the potential other parcel?
That's what we'll be looking into for the potential of the other parcel.
Okay, thank you.
You're
I have
welcome.
a question.
Sure.
On the pump track, is that down off of 20th and Centennial Trail?
Yes.
Yeah.
It will be south of 20th, north of 16th, and that where Centennial Woods is located.
Okay.
And Jill, the new slips, are they going to just be on the west side of the pier, or are they going to be also on the east side of the pier in the swimming area?
No, just on the west side. The east side will just, and it'll be at that point, once the police boats move on, then that swimming area will be better defined. But definitely, yeah, just on the west side.
Awesome.
Will there be power? I'm sorry, Roger, go ahead.
Go ahead, Brian.
I
Brian,
was
wanted
just
to know if
wondering
there
if
was
there'd be
power.
power there. Yeah.
There will be power there. That's what
Cool.
we had in the original plans, unless something happens during the vetting of that would preclude it. But that's what that's what we've scoped it for.
And are those free slips that you're talking about, or is there going to be a fee for them or anything, or?
I think the original the discussions, and Russ, you can correct me, I believe that we haven't discussed any fees for the boat slips.
No, a fee hasn't been discussed.
Has there been a
This
time
is
limit?
Susan here with a question.
Sure.
Has there been a time
It's
limit?
Carl.
Like 2 hours or something?
None of the rules have been established yet. I mean, the first thing we were looking at was getting design funding. So those will be, all of the policy questions will be, issues we'll bring back to the park board well ahead of that, those slips getting put into use.
Go ahead,
Susan,
Susan.
Okay, I had just a comment that's probably ahead of what you were just talking about, Russ. And I guess one thing I was thinking of, and we have to kind of thoughtful about how you approach it, but I know we often see on the lake where you have people will go and anchor and then just crank the tunes really loud. And so that's just something to kind of consider. I'm sure you probably already thought about that, since you've got the park right there.
Sure. Yes. And the same rules will apply, as far as the noise level and the noise ordinance for it. Well, we kind of, what we envision for these is for folks visiting the downtown. So being able to tie your boat off and then come into town, and if you need to get supplies or anything, you would be able to have a space to do that. Currently, we've heard some comments, that North Cove boat launch is a distance away, but kind of out of sight. So the comfort level of leaving their boats there isn't as high as it would be in this location. But that's definitely good information to think about as we're moving into the policy.
Like, I like Carl's idea of, putting a limit on it. I think it should be free personally, but I think there should be a limit because, there could be someone that wants to visit their friend on this side of the lake or whatever, and just park their boat there and go up to the guy's house, for, 6 or 7 hours. And so I like Carl's idea of a time limit.
Anybody got anything else on that? All right, let's move on. We don't have a council member with us tonight, so we will go over board member reports. We'll start with you, Tina.
I think I gave, Carl came up with a fantastic idea that it brought to the Arts and Park Foundation about having, putting some signs about don't feed the ducks. And he came up with a lot of different options for that. And so once we get that figured out as to what we want to present to you or to us, then we'll come up with something to present about what we think it should be and the locations. Carl, anything else to add?
Nope. Just something a little more definite, a little bit bigger than the one we've got that's already there. Since it's a swimming beach, feeding the ducks and stuff is not the best.
Thank you.
Anything else, Carl?
Not for me.
Let's see here. Marlene.
Well, you didn't want a report from the Arts and Parks Foundation from last week? Was Tina and Carl going to do that, or this is just?
I wasn't there, so it's up to you, Marlene.
Well, I just wanted, the mayor mentioned that the artist has been selected to do the mural on Market Street. Yeah, because I brought up another one I saw in a magazine, and he mentioned that it's very much almost decided. This other artist, I can't remember the name. And also we had all the farmers market dates where the Arts and Parks Foundation is going to be there every other week from June 1st through August. And in July, there will only be on the 13th because there's Aquafest and there's no farmers market that week. And I've been looking for eagle's nests, and there is definitely an active nest again this year on Davies Road. So that's a happy news to me. And that's about all I have to say.
Roger?
I just want to thank Tina, Carl, and Marlene for their work on the Arts and Parks. I think they're doing a great job, and keep it up, and thanks for the feedbacks.
Susan. It looks like it's connecting to our audio.
Yeah, no, I just was unmuting. No, all good on my side.
Brian.
The only thing I have is Lake Stevens Soccer Club spring season signups are going on now, and that season's going to start in early April. So anybody that's got kids that are looking to play, if they played last year in fall, they can play spring this year. So that's about all I have.
Colton.
Sorry, trying to find my mute button on this phone. It's kind of difficult sometimes. Not much from me. I do want to echo what Roger said about, the Arts and Park work that was done. The mural looks great, I think. So I really think that's a lot of good work getting done there. There was one other thing I was going to say. I really like the no feeding the ducks piece, because I've noticed so many times going down there that there's kids and having to talk to them. Don't throw, gummy bears and things like that. So I think, yeah, some real kind of, if we're going to try to build signage around that, I think it needs to be something that will catch the attention of some of the younger kids that are in the area too. So, but that's all I have. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Colton. Sir, I didn't miss anybody. Connor, you're up, buddy.
Okay. So yeah, a few things. One, I've been talking with Michelle Hampton recently, and I'm going to take over the Aqua Run. Kelly Devine's been organizing it in years past. At Kelly for she's busy with her business. She's done an awesome job organizing that event over the years. I'll be spearheading the 1, 5, and 10K races, and just really excited to be able to use the new facilities in North Cove as the launch pad for the races. So super excited about that. That'll be the Saturday of Aquafest. So I look forward to seeing y'all come out to walk or run in that race. But you can't compete in the 1K. That's only for the kids. Our last meeting, I brought up just some general concerns over at North Cove after school. I talked with several of my classes about it, and I know that several of the students were very candid about how contentious some of the interactions with parents have become over the last several weeks. They'll admit that there are a lot of problems. There's a concentration of kids that head over there, but they're also really honest in just saying they're kids. They want a playground to go and play at. They just want somewhere to go and hang out. And it kind of taps into what I mentioned several months back, that the city, as the city continues to grow and mature, the possibility with this new parks director position that's going to come in, take a look at in long-term vision, the possibility of having some kind of recreation center aside from the Boys and Girls Club, that outlet where you can tap into city run athletics and programs, but also just to have kind of that conduit for opportunity and good positive social interaction for these kids after school, because they're quite frankly just going and getting in trouble. My wife and I, Saturday morning, we go over to, we take the dog for a run, we head over to North Cove, and we spend 15-20 minutes picking up pizza boxes and Truly cans and beer bottles off of the playground. It's really frustrating. And I don't know what we can do as far as a deterrent, put dummy cams up to keep people away. I don't know, but it's frustrating. I love that park. I love what the city has done with it, and just want to see it better respected. You can't change people's behaviors, but we can at least deter them maybe with some big cameras. I'm talking the Roadrunner, in Coyote Acme cameras out there. That would be pretty awesome. But either way, we'll keep heading over there on Saturdays just to clean up stuff. But what I'm hearing from kids, they want something to do. They all brought up the playground that used to be at Mount Pilchuck, and I tell them to go and run around at the ball field behind North Lake, and they said it's not a playground. So, and they bring up wanting to have dry grass, and they're not going to ride their bike over to Lundeen, because Lundeen is fine. The lawn there is fine. It stays relatively dry, but North Cove is a little bit problematic. So that's it. The last thing is, this will be my last meeting with the Parks Board. I'm stepping down and actually joining the Planning Commission. yeah, I really, it came as a kind of a surprise to the opportunity came up, and it's something I'm really interested in. Put my hat in the ring, and yeah, I was fortunately selected. So really excited about that. I really appreciated my time and getting to learn the process from you guys. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks, Connor.
Thanks, Connor. We're gonna miss you, but I'm happy for you. Russ, I think that's a wave hand up there.
It is, thank
Okay.
you. I just wanted to respond to a couple of Connor's comments that we heard your comment at the last meeting. We've had a meeting with community development, public works, and PD, and we're developing a three-pronged strategy right now to deal with some of the behavior issues at North Cove. And the three-prong issue is going to include what can we do for better enforcement, what can we do for better maintenance of the park and timely maintenance of the park, and third, what types of alternatives recreation can we provide for teenagers and a little bit older kids. So we are working on a strategy, and we'll be rolling something out over the next few weeks to hopefully curtail some of the bad behavior in the park and, return it to that family-friendly environment. So.
Awesome. I really appreciate the work on that, Russ.
Russ, I have a quick question. Is the Frontier Park, has that been in pretty good shape, or is it getting the same way as what Connor was talking about?
Frontier Heights Park has been a little rough since its rollout. There was a little bit of graffiti and some damage to the picnic shelters. It is on our work program this year to complete the next phases of the park. And Jill might be able to give you a better idea on the timeline for that.
Okay.
I have a comment on the youth activities. There's
Sure,
a,
can we let Jill respond, Carl, then we'll circle back?
For Frontier Heights Park, it is having it. Russ is exactly right. It had some graffiti. I have not heard any reports of anything as of late. It is getting use out there. It's not getting the intense use, and we're not seeing the same issues that we're seeing at North Cove at Frontier Heights Park. But we are looking at installing pickleball courts there, as well as finishing off the cornhole. It's a permanent, like a concrete cornhole. I don't know what it's not an alley, but it's a course, I suppose. The boards out there for kids to be able to do that out there, as well as putting in all of the picnic benches. The schedule and this has not been set for that project, but that is the next phases for Frontier Heights.
I'd like to make a comment on the for youth activities. There's a rowing club down there, the boat launch, which is a good place for kids to start to learn and get together.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be helpful once they get that a climbing wall and a pump track going that kids can go do that kind of stuff?
I think that'll be helpful.
Anything that we can add for recreation will definitely help the kids that are seeking recreation. And then we're hoping, as Russ mentioned, with the other items moving forward to help kind of return the park to its use of. We want kids playing in the park. We just need them to do it responsibly and appropriately.
Mhm.
Has there been
And-
any thought towards like building a teen-centric playground? I mean, that North Cove Park is being so close to the high school and the middle school, kids walk down there. It'd be great if we could have some sort of a dedicated space for them. Maybe get a panel of teens that would kind of help design it. And like they said, they want like some artificial turf so it stays dry, things like that, places to hang out. Is there anything like that we could do?
So we're going to, again, take a look at some opportunities this year. I don't know what those are going to look like in the future. That would be, if we did something large, that would be a future phase of North Cove Park and a 23 topic.
Anybody else? So I guess I'm last, just the only thing I got to add is as you drive around town, you'll notice the fields, baseball fields are being used. We had a record number of signups this year. We're over 700 kids in our Little League program. For the first time in a long time, we actually have, which hopefully this will help with the teenage population. We actually have 2 intermediate teams, a junior team, and right now I'm hearing possibly a senior team, which encompasses that 13 to 16-year-old age group. That senior is kind of the kids that may not have made the high school team. It still gives them an opportunity to play baseball. So the Little League's doing really well. And unfortunately, like Connor, this will be my last park board meeting. This is, I think, year 14 for me. You guys saw on the agenda, it says election of Parks and Recs chairperson. That's because I will be stepping down. I just recently took a position with the city of Lake Stevens. So to avoid conflict of interest, I talked it over with Ross, met with Ross, and just decided that 14 years, I think I gave up some good years, and I'm gonna miss it, but I can still be a guest. So, yeah. So
Well,
Thank
You've
you.
done a
Chris.
fantastic job, Chris.
Thank you.
Yes.
I,
Watch you learn over the years and you just become a leader. Good for you.
Congratulations, Chris.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah,
We're definitely
congratulations,
gonna
Chris.
miss you.
So what's
Oh,
the new
I'm-
position at the city?
I won't be going nowhere. I am now the Stormwater Supervisor in Public Works. So it's a new, kind of a newer position, and I'm loving it. I'm 23 years I worked for the county, and I was really nervous leaving the county. This is my second week, and no regrets. I'm loving it.
Good.
Awesome, congrats.
well, Chris,
Congrats, Chris.
we have to sufficiently embarrass you at least one time. But Chris, you joined the park board in 2008. I pulled it up today and we had some fun issues that year. But you volunteered, of course, many hours for your meetings and volunteer projects. And we know that that Lake Stevens has always had a special place, and you've always brought your focus of youth athletics to us. You've also brought us your thoughtful perspective to parks issues, and it's obvious that you take pride in your service here. The city, we want to thank you so much for your commitment to the enrichments of parks and recreation in Lake Stevens and your love of this community that's so obvious if you interact with anyone, either casually or professionally. So, I mean, as we look forward to transitioning into a new experience, because you'll have now hands-on support for this community. But I'm really happy that you've chosen this team, and we are lucky to have you. And we want to thank you so much for all of your sacrifice for this board. And I know Russ has the second chance to sufficiently embarrass you.
So I've
Mike, me
been,
next.
absolutely.
No, go
So,
ahead. Just kidding.
I've worked with Chris now for about 11 years. And as Jill said, you know, his presence on the park board, in the time that I've been here, I have seen him grow into this leadership role that he's taken on several times. He has a true passion for youth sports, for recreation, and for the natural environment, as well as the maintenance of parks. So I applaud Chris. We've taken the Parks Division and the Parks Board over the last decade plus into a very professional organization that's just starting to grow and blossom into hopefully which will be a regional and a countywide, excuse me, department that will be just without measure. So thank you again for all of your time and input as we've, you know, developed this division and organization, and appreciate all of your time.
Thank you. Yeah, it's come a long way since 2008. Long way. So this park board has been great. now I get to be on the other side and help out. So I'm hoping, like I said, I'm not going to be a stranger. I'm still going to pop in on the meetings every once in a while. Still a citizen of the city as well. So with that, oh, sorry, my phone screen locked.
Hey,
We have,
didn't Roger want to say something?
No, I was just poking fun at him, like I always
Oh,
do.
well, he just wanted to go do the Zumba yoga at the park, or
Yeah.
Zumba dance fit class at the park.
My partner.
nice.
I did have one other thing as well. The restrooms did open up from the winter closure. So we have restrooms. One of the restrooms at North Cove at the boat launch is open, as well as Davies Beach. So the ones that were closed over the winter will be opening up. There was some water damage from a frozen pipe at North Cove at the picnic shelter, and those ones will not reopen until the construction project's done. But the other ones are opened up now. So sorry, I would have that on our parks update.
Jill, will those bathrooms always be closed in the winter at North Cove?
This last year, they were, I don't know that it's a hard and fast rule, but if it's necessary to close them due to weather, for fear of bursting pipes, or if there's an issue with, vandalism or graffiti, then that will happen, but.
Got it.
You bet.
And then just sort of a final shout out, if you look at the agenda for April, we did put on that there will be an election of a new chairperson for the rest of the board. We just wanted to make sure that you had ample time. I know for some of the newer members, you were surprised at our first meeting this year that call to action came up. So this is just a little bit of advanced warning. If there's anyone from our long-term members or some of the newer members that would like to be part of the leadership, we'll look forward to those nominations or volunteerism at the next meeting. And thank you as well, Connor. I look forward to continuing to work with you in a different capacity in a couple of days.
Yeah, likewise. And I'll see you tomorrow, Russ.
All right, with that, everybody, thanks again for however many years it's been. It's been fun. I wish you all the best. And with that, can I get a motion for the meeting to be adjourned?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All right, everybody, have a great evening.
Thanks, Chris.
See you around,
Thanks again,
Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Bye, Connor.
Thanks, Chris. Congrats, Connor.
Connor, congratulations. See you guys around somewhere.
Aloha.